Welcome to KDSV Knowledge Studio. Get ready to level up your tech knowledge with easy-to-follow tutorials, smart tips, and powerful tools for success.
Are you testing without SQL knowledge? In this video, we will break down the most important SQL fundamentals every QA engineer must know for understanding the key components of SQL, data types, and operators. This will help them to write the practical queries for validation. Whether you are a manual or automation QA, these SQL skills will level up your testing game. Please watch till end of the video to know what is next. Also, please do not forget to subscribe to KDSV Knowledge Studio for weekly tech tutorials. Let's get into the video. Actually, SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is a domain-specific language used for managing and manipulating the relational database. SQL is essential for interacting with the database, and it provides a standardized way to perform tasks such as querying data, updating data, or inserting data and deleting data in a relational database system. Key components of SQL. SQL is the standard language used to communicate with relational database. It allows user to define, manipulate, control, and query that data. Here are the main components that makes SQL powerful and flexible. The very first one, data definition language. DDL is a subset of SQL used to define, modify, and remove the structure of the database objects like tables, views, schemas, and indexes. DDL command contains create, which will used for the creating a table, alter, which will adds, deletes, or modify the or renames the attribute of the any table, and drop deletes the data. Next one is the data manipulation language. DML is a subset of SQL used to manipulate the data stored in the database tables. It lets you add, modify, retrieve, or remove the data without affecting the table structure. Some of the DML commands are select, used for the retrieving the data, insert, used for adding a new data, update, used for modifying the existing data, delete removes the specific data set. The next one is data query language. DQL is the subset of SQL used exclusively to retrieve or query the data from the database. It allows you to query about the data stored in the tables and get meaningful results out of them. DQL commands are select, which will be used for querying the database and retrieve the specific information whatever user require. The fourth one is data control language. DCL is used to control access to the data within the database. Commands like grant, invoke are used to assign or revoke the permissions, determining who can access or modify the certain data. DCL commands are grant, which is used for permitting the user to access, and revoke used for removing the authorization for the given users. The last one is the transaction control language. TCL is a subset of SQL used to manage transaction in a database. Actually, a transaction is a group of SQL operations like insert, update, delete that are treated as a single unit of work. TCL ensures that either all operations in the transaction succeed or none at all, preventing the data integrity. MS SQL has different data types. So here I have given the very few which requires QA engineers to be knowing this effectively. In SQL, data type defines the kind of data a column or variable can store. Choosing the correct data type is crucial for the data accuracy, performance, and the query reliability. So in the table, I have given the different data types and what it exactly stores and what QA should test for it. So bit means it will store 0 or 1s. Specifically, this is for the storing the Boolean logic or default values. And tiny int is the small whole numbers which stores 0 to 255. So here QA can test the overflow or boundary testing over here, where the tiny int related fields stores more than 255. And the small int is the medium range. Here, the similar way we can test input validation near the limits, and integer is the standard integers. This is used mainly for the ID fields or auto incremental behavior related fields. And big int, this will store very large integers. Here we can try to validate the data truncation or large ID compatibility related stuffs. And decimal or numeric, this is precious decimal numbers. Here we need to make sure that rounding and money validations are going correctly. And small or money, these all are the currency values is stored. So when it is currency, we need to make sure that rounding and formatting everything is correct. And the float, this stores the decimal values. And character, it has the fixed length, and spacing or padding or trimming related stuffs we need to test over here. And here enforce number of characters which is going to store. And varchar, this is the variable length used in the data field. And here you can test the length limits and trimming also. Unlikely character, character stores only the specific length, but varchar stores the variable length. And varchar's maximum, it's similar to varchar, but here it stores the large ASCII text, which is up to 2 GB. So here we need to test large input, and also we need to make sure that these all are displayed correctly in the UI or API. If someone is using API, that limit also need to be tested. End character, it's a fixed length Unicode field. This supports the multiple language. And similar way, n varchar, this is the variable length Unicode text field. Here you can store different languages, emojis, and we need to make sure that storage length also works perfectly. In nchar, n varchar large Unicode text, this is used for the comments, nodes, and the localization related. Binary, fixed length binary data, this is used for storing the file encoding or hexa related text, that also we need to test. And var binary, it's a very length of binary data field. And var binary max, it's a large binary examples, images or PDFs can be stored here. Maybe here we need to validate the those binaries are corrupted or size of these binaries, and make sure that these binaries can be downloaded as images or PDFs. So these are some of the very important data types which QA engineers need to know. Maybe someone will ask, why QA engineers need to know these all SQL data types? Here are some of the answers. So you can generate the accurate test data if you know what is the exact data type used for those tables and columns, and this helps catching the issues like string truncation or precision loss or overflow errors before they reach the production. And validate precisely. If you do not know the column and date time to versus date, you might write the wrong assertions and miss the time related bugs. Understanding the bit fields like 0 or 1, validate the flags and keys correctly. Detecting the data integrity problems. Mismatch between the front-end input and the back-end storage can corrupt the data. This is very important aspect which we need to test. And avoiding the false positives or negatives. Testing a float field as if it is fair exactly like a decimal may cause rounding discrepancy in your assertions. Knowing when approximate types are used prevents flaky test. And optimizing the query. Large text or varchar columns can slow down the search or joins. QA can flag this when validating the performance. Identifying the columns with wrong types can help or guides the improvements, and handles the nulls and defaults. Only data type that allows null can accept missing values. QA must test both null or not null paths. Default constraints, something like get date or date and time, depends on the type. Knowing this ensures you validate the default behaviors correctly. And test for injection flaws. Testing SQL injection scenarios requires awareness of which type of suspectable fields can be used. QA can design injection payloads that respect or exploit the type of boundaries. These are some of the important points why QA engineers need to know the data types. Let's move on to next session. Here we are going to learn about the different type of operators. SQL operators are special keywords or symbols used in the query to perform the comparison or filtering data or combining the condition or manipulating the values. These are the essentials for writing effective where clause or joins or other logic in queries. Let's take a look at the comparison operators. So equal. Here you can check whether specific status is equal to open or whatever the status which you are required. And exclamation mark and equal, this means that not equal to, or you can put the less than or greater than, where this also gives the same meanings, where type is not equal to bug. And we can use the greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. These are the some basic operators which we must know. Next one is the logical operators. These operators are used to combine the multiple conditions. You can use and. Here all condition must be true. If you use or, any condition can be true. And if you say not, it negates the condition. Here in the example, if you take a look at where not status equal to closed, that means whatever the status is not closed, those things will be coming into the picture. Let's move on to the arithmetic operators. In the arithmetic operators, we are using plus, minus, star, division, and modulus. So these are the operators can be used some of the if you want to perform some of the arithmetic operation within the query. And we have between, in, like, and is null operators. You can use the between to check whether the age is between two numbers, or you can make use of this for any kind of range check. In operators, rather than you can specifying it status equal to open or status equal to in progress, you can use in operator. This in operator will bring up the query results which is equal to open and in progress. Simply you can say you can use it for multiple match check. And like operator is used to query the data when you know certain patterns. So here in the example, like a percentage, this means any name starts with a, that will be brought up in the your SQL query results. And is null, and if you want to validate specific field is null, only those fields need to be brought up. In that case, you can use is null. Is not null is opposite to the null. In this case, is not null, we can make sure that data is present in that particular field. Again, why QA engineers need to know these operators? How exactly it is going to help us? Writing the effective test queries. QA engineers often verify the backend data directly in the database. Knowing operators helps them filtering the specific test data, validate the inserted or updated records, also fetch the edge cases like dates, nulls, or partial text. The other one is testing the complex business rules. Business logic often involves combination of conditions. For example, discounts only for the age greater than 60 and city Delhi. Or you can put a condition show the product if stock is greater than 0 or pre-order equal to true. In this case, you will need logical operators like and, or, not to validate the such rules. And this information we need to know specifically to catch the bugs in the test conditions. Maybe misusing of the operators can lead to incompatible result sets or wrong data shown in the UI, and hidden null issues can be brought up. QA can catch these early using the correct SQL checks. The other one is the validate the data integrity and the relationships. Using between, in, like, is null, we can validate the data mismatch or missing or unexpected values or unlinked foreign keys. These kind of issues we can brought up. The other one, automating or scale testing. Automated scripts often include SQL queries. Understanding the operator helps you parameterize the conditions or generate the correct test data or validate the bulk inserts or updates. When QA engineers masters SQL data types and operators, they can create accurate test data, write effective validation queries, and uncover the hidden bugs early. Understanding the types like integer, varchar, and date and time, along with operators like less than, greater than, less than equal to, or greater than equal to, or like, helps ensure data accuracy and functional correctness and faster debugging, ultimately leading to higher quality of the product. That's all. We reached to the end of the this video. So what is coming up next in this tutorial? And get ready to explore top 25 essential SQL queries, which includes filtering with where condition in between or like whatever we saw today, and sorting or limiting, and aggregation related operators, and joins, subqueries, and case statement, and Windows functions like row number, rank. Each topic will be covered with the practical examples, tips for QA validation, and common mistakes to avoid. So please get ready to boost your SQL skills with real QA use cases. Please like the video if it helped you. Also comment your thoughts and questions so that I can clarify them and share it with your friends and families. To stay updated with useful tech content, make sure that you are subscribed to KDSV Knowledge Studio for weekly tech tutorials. Thank you.
Thank you for watching KDSV Knowledge Studio. Please subscribe to the channel.